Now do not suppose that I have come to abolish the law and the prophets. For I have not come to abolish, but to complete. And so I tell you, not a letter, not a stroke will disappear from the law, until all that must happen has happened. If any man therefore sets aside even the least of the law's commands, he will have the lowest place in the kingdom of heaven. But he who keeps the law and teaches others so will have the highest place in the kingdom of heaven. I tell you, unless you show yourselves far better men than the Pharisees and the doctors of law, you shall never enter the kingdom of heaven. There once was a judge who cared nothing for God nor man. And in the same town there was a widow who constantly came before him demanding justice against her rival. For a long time he refused, but in the end he said to himself,
Well, it's true, I care nothing for God nor man. This widow is so great a nuisance that I'll see her righted before she wears me out with her persistence.
Thank you.
you hear what the unjust judge says. And will not God vindicate his chosen who cry out to him day and night while he sits listening patiently to them?
Will he, Jesus? Will he?
I tell you, he will vindicate them soon enough. But when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?
Now gather around, brothers and sisters, for I have a story to tell. Now 2 men, and I said 2 men, went off to the temple to pray. One, a Pharisee,
That's me.
and the other, a tax gatherer. The Pharisee went right up there and he prayed thus.
I thank thee, O God, that I am not like these other men. Greedy, dishonest, adulterous, and for that matter, like that tax gatherer right over there. I pray twice a week, y'all hear me? Twice a week, and I pay taxes on all that I get.
While the other would not even raise his eyes to the good Lord in heaven. And I said, the good Lord in heaven, child. Amen. But he beat upon his breast, saying,
Oh God, have mercy on me, sinner that I am.
And it was this man, I tell you, and not the other, who went off and quitted of his sins.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me, Jesus.
For every man who exalts himself shall be humbled, and he who humbles himself shall be exalted. You have learned that they were told, do not commit murder. Anyone who commits murder must be brought to judgment. But what I tell you is this. Whoever has anger against his brother must be brought to judgment. So he who abuses his brother will answer for it in the court. But he who sneers at his brother will answer for it in the fires of hell. Now what if you're bringing a gift to the altar?
Stop. Altar time.
And you suddenly remember your brother has a grievance against you. Will you leave your gift where it is before the altar?
okay,
First, go and make peace with your brother.
I'm so terribly sorry. Will you please forgive me?
It's okay, brother.
Now you may go and offer your gift. But what if your brother sues you? You'd better settle with him quickly, otherwise he'll hand you over to the judge, and the judge to the constable, and you'll land in jail.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
And I tell you, you will not get out until you've paid every last penny.
There once was a king. Who decided to settle accounts with the men who served him. Well, at the outset there appeared before the king a man whose debt ran into the millions. What? I said the millions. Whoa! But since the man had no means of paying the money, the master had him sold to pay the debt with his wife and his child and everything he owned. The man fell down at the master's feet and said,
Oh, be patient with me, and I will pay you in full.
and so filled with pity was the master that he decided to free the man and remit him of his debt. And let's hear it for the master.
Wait a minute. That's not the end of the story. No sooner had the man gone out than he ran into a fellow servant who owed him a few dollars. He gripped him by the throat and said,
Pay me what you owe me.
and the man threw himself down at his fellow servant's feet and begged him, saying,
But be patient with me and I shall pay you.
but the man did not forgive him, and he had him jailed until he could pay the debt off.
Nobody knows but Jesus.
Well, the other servants were deeply distressed by what had happened. And they ran and they told their master what they had seen. And accordingly, he sent for the man.
You scoundrel! I remitted the whole of your debt when you appealed to me. Were you not bound to show your servant the same pity I showed you?
Maybe. And so angry was the master that he had the man condemned to torture until he could pay the debt off in full.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that is how my heavenly Father will deal with each of you unless you forgive your brothers from your hearts.